So the struggle point is what I think is as the chokeholds most people have at certain moments in their lives or with certain scenarios they have no understanding on how to overcome. I have talked on how we get in some troubles and some blockades along the way as we try to navigate our life, and the only way we can overcome them is by people guiding us or people telling us what to do. It's either that or trial and error. But it's hard, especially with what I struggle with, is to really tell your mind and tell your soul because it may be embarrassing. It may be something you don't relate to to the person you're creating because sometimes we are creating this person that we think highly of, and by asking the stupid questions or by being the vulnerable the way we could and should be, it does not feel natural. It feels like we are breaking that image that everyone assumes when they look at us, and that in and of itself breaks your own perception of yourself. I had a broken perception of myself for a very long period of time. I told myself that I hold certain values that, when faced with them and to actually in holding them, I never actually held them. I had this issue where I said that maybe looks do not really matter when talking to a person. And I've been proven that wrong multiple times across my life, where, yes, looks influenced how I treated the person, which is not how I personally want to get treated. I'm not the most best looking, I'm not the smartest, but I know I have some forties when it comes to going deep inside my mind, or at least trying to think at a mature level. And I've been trying to work my own ways out, trying to settle my peace with certain things that many people don't want to settle their peace with, and try to be the person that I want to become. It's an easy thought to just try and figure out yourself, but it's not as easy to actually do it. Because how it was to perceive someone and not judge them based them on how they looked. That's why I tried to, whenever I was online, to not look on how a person looked and just listen to their voice. Because when you have only their voice feed, you only know them by their own opinions, by how they talk, by the way they discuss certain topics, and they how they start and think it all the way through. Right now, you are listening to my voice. Right now, your only perception of me is my own opinion and way of talking. That may be a good thing, that may be a bad thing, but to get a full view on me, you also need a way to see me. Unfortunately, that won't happen on this specific channel. I think I will try and start another YouTube channel where I am being more open, but you won't have any way to know that that person on that other channel is the same person that is here. Because in some way, I am working on multiple personas because whatever I'm talking about here and the way you find me through other sites about this channel in particular is not the best image I want over the personality or character that I hold in my day to day life. If the people around me knew what I do and what I'm into, they wouldn't like me as much. They would criticize me to a point that I wouldn't be happy about. It's tough to live with multiple personalities, and many people do the same thing. many people, and they have to be understood. They certainly do. And I want to understand them and help them in any way I can because I struggle with the same thing. Trying to hold many ties together into one whole, but it just sometimes does not work. And things will collapse. Things won't always work out, and when it doesn't work out and everything falls apart and everyone knows about everything, knows that the multi layers you have hidden yourself and the multiple things you've done behind closed doors is it's gonna be your worst nightmare and also your freedom because you're not hiding yourself anymore. You're yourself now, the goods and the bads, and many people have goods and bads. And what I'm trying to get at the point of my life is where I'm not ashamed of both. I'm not ashamed of being proud of myself while also telling everyone of my mishaps, of the worsts, of what makes me not such a saint. Because no one's a saint. Absolutely no one is. Everyone has got something they hide. But I am not ready to get to that point yet. I cannot come to peace to even speak it out loud here, let alone to the people that I see almost every day of my life face to face. Because they will look differently at me with whatever I am currently doing. And that just is wild. Many people say you should not care about what people think around you, but if the people that think that about around you make your life worse, is it worth saying it? No, it definitely isn't. It's a part of yourself that you don't have to disclose, but how can you not disclose it when you have to be open about yourself to yourself? So that will happen. That's why I created this channel. And that's why, if you're listening to this, you can come and contact me directly to talk about certain stuff like this. Because this is not just some small thing. This should go deep. We need people to maybe start understanding us or us understanding them. Because it isn't easy. Nothing is easy. But the only way to get around it is to keep trying. I want to kind of jump into another topic, maybe this time into our delve more into the goals that we assume for ourselves and our perceivedness of success, maybe. Because we have this twisted value, or we associate success most of the time with our wealth, our loved ones, our materialistic gains, and I don't find that to be true. I have set myself a goal to become a book writer and even to have other stuff going on. It's quite a hefty goal I have set up for myself, but not impossible. You can be a book writer, but now it depends if you're a good one at that or not. And I do not care if it's a good end goal or if I do it the right way that I get popularity from it. My goal here is to write my book, write a story, write a universe in that I created my own mind. Give a taste of what my mind is capable to the people out there. Because to create something is truly beautiful. Creating something that people enjoy watching, listening, reading is joyful. Like if you're listening to this and let's say you comment a heart emoji, I know you're listening to this until this part, and I will like your comment and say thank you because you listened to me. You've listened to this monologue that stretches on and does not really have an end, that does not really have a specific goal in mind, but listen to it because you gave me a chance. You gave me a chance to prove myself and my work and my mind and everything. That in and of itself, having like 10 people read my book and say that they liked it, that's enough for me to call it a success. That's that's what should be enough for most people to call it success. Because we get this twisted view on how the media works and how some people get millions and millions of subscribers and certain stuff like that. If this channel gets 5 subscribers by the end of the week, I will be a happy person. Because I was up. I know 5 people subscribed to me because they wanted to listen to me. They wanted to see the next upload I do. And that just makes me happy. Because in some way, people are interested in what I have to say. And that's more than enough. You don't need a lot to feel happy about what you do. I've had a journal for a period of 1 month that I will just document all and every thought I had. And it's interesting how I came to a conclusion towards the end of it that I'm a lucky person. I've been given everything I needed. I had many good friends, many opportunities. I've had all the things to benefit me to get somewhere. And I'm thankful for that. That's why when I bring topics of dying someday, because it's a heavy topic, it's a very heavy topic. When I think of my death, I'm not sad about it. I'm not happy either, but I'm at peace with it because I know I live my life maybe not the most best way. I haven't accomplished everything I have set myself up. I've sinned. I have done things that I cannot come at peace with myself to say. But I think I lived a pretty good life. I'm proud of the person that I have become. And I think this is a value that more people have to get known with. Be vulnerable, be real about yourself. Because it's not easy. It's definitely not easy. But coming at peace in such ways is the best way to live your life. Because you know that whatever you do because it makes you happy. You do it because you know you're better than before. I'm not talking about now that you indulge in all the temporary pleasures and be happy about them. No, I'm talking about yourself, exploration. An exploration that I've wanted to do on my own personal life for many times and failed utterly again and again. But times where I did succeed to hold it for at least a while, I realized that, yes, I've come at peace with certain stuff in my life that I won't say that I am disappointed on. Sometimes I speak in English. It's not my native language, but when I keep a long monologue like this, you will notice that I stir away from the main topic a lot. It's hard to keep a straight line of thought when you're juggling millions of thoughts in your own mind. We as people have a lot of thinking going on each and every day. Even when we don't realize it, even the subconscious has millions of choosings and choices that they make for you, for us, for everyone. To think that each person has millions of choices every day. Multiply that by 8 billion, and I think that's maybe as many atoms there is in the whole universe. And that alone is mind blowing. There's certain stuff that you can just think about, and the sheer size and need to comprehend the not absurdity. Absurdity is not a good word here. More like perception of the sheer size of some things is unfathomable to us. Like the feeling when we get sometimes that we think about a stretch of infinity, like we would imagine that our universe has no real borders. It would be more scary to think that something is finite as our universe, but it's not. And the fact that it's not finite is also a scary thought. Sheer volume could be a fear in some cases. In this particular case, it does make a bit of sense, and I kind of understand anyone that will go through these thoughts. But it's interesting. It's interesting to go into topics like this and just think them out. It's interesting to just sit back in bed, no music, no phone. Just let your mind try to conjure up how the universe looks, how the meteorites just fly through, how the sun takes light years away to reach us. Or maybe not light years, maybe light minutes in our case. Light minutes because, yeah, different distances, different speed. Also, the fascinating thing about looking at the universe as a whole and seeing it in the past. Could you imagine somewhere out there, maybe 1 billion away of light years, there's a planet of also humans that have high end technology, and they look at our planet, and it's all still a big bubble of water that hasn't been hit by the big meteorite that will give us the continents we currently have. Can you imagine that? It's it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot to think about. There's a lot going on in your mind when you're trying to conjure up everything in the sheer size of things. And this is how we get overwhelmed in our struggles because we cannot assess the gravity and the size of the situations we get in. That's why when we do mistakes, we cannot also comprehend the consequences of them. Sometimes the mistakes are brutally and too big for our comprehension, and we just know that we fucked up. We fucked up, and it's barely fixable. But other times is we blow things out of proportion. We think that we are in the biggest troubles of the planet. We are the most troubled person out there, and yet we haven't experienced the struggles that many people deal in a day-to-day life like it's something normal. Blowing things out of proportion and stuff like that is most commonly met trying to conjure up excuses sometimes for our own incapabilities of keeping up with our life and ourselves. I am a person that has been under those excuses many times before, where I have tried to make up reasons for my own incapabilities to be a better person or overcome struggles. And it's a hard thing to overcome in and of its own, to try to be something that you're not, try to be someone that you've always struggled to be. Because to change, you need to conjure up this image of the perfect person or the person you want to become. But how can you conjure a person and it's your path to it in such a way that it's manageable and doesn't blow out of proportion in how much work I have to put into this one person? Right now, I could say I'm at the highest point and at the lowest point of my life because there's you split life in multiple parts in different domains of success. In some domains I refer as your maybe mental state, your physical state, your you're spiritual, because that's a thing as well, even though I'm not a religious person, but I'm not gonna delve into this right now. There's this multiple things that we assess with our development as a whole person, or as a person with knowledge as a whole. We value or we grade our intelligence, our spirituality, our physiques or health to give us value, to give us an understanding how well we are doing at what we are doing. And that's not the wrong thing. Assessing yourself, doing an analysis on yourself to understand what to do wrong and what to do good, what you have to work on and what you have to change about your life is a good thing overall. But when we hyper focus on some stuff, we can forget to take care of the other stuff. You can say that you are emotionally unstable, but on the other side, you're a person of great physique. There's many feats of people that they look well, they think well, they speak well, but under their skin they don't feel comfortable because they know their struggle, they know their incapabilities, they know their maybe addictions. And that's the hardest thing to come and at peace with, that you are not perfect as you are to other people. I'm going back on the topics that I've talked maybe earlier on or on the other episode, that we're not perfect and we cannot even start, most of us, to come at peace with us and to those around us. I think David Goggins said that the only way to grow is kind of to be vulnerable. Because we're not strong. He's not strong. He's the most damaged person out there. And yet he made the best of his life. We need to look up to people that are truly being at the bottom and reached to great feats that even the healthy people that like us cannot even comprehend in reaching, let alone imagine them in our own feet, or not precisely our own feet. Imagine ourselves being in the same position as he was. We need also like these kind of figures to look up to because sometimes you cannot conjure the person you want to become, and you need people that have become what you want to be, and you try to follow their footsteps. That's pretty much learning by their own journey, learning from their mistakes maybe, learning from a safe environment that you don't feel sometimes judged upon, because no one can judge you from learning from other people. Can you tell yourself that I got judged for learning? I get judged for wanting to be a better person. No one will judge you for that. And it's a normal thing to look at some generic people that maybe some other people around you don't have the best idea of. Because David Goggins is a motivational speaker, is a very good person overall to learn from. But some people have a twisted view on him and his teachings and think that he's full of lies and full of deceiving. And though to those people, how David Goggins said it, these people are people that lay back and never tried to change themselves. How can you come to someone that's trying to be better day by day and tell them that, hey, why are you listening to this guy? You're not gonna learn anything. Instead of trying to say, oh, you're trying to improve yourself. Nice, what have you been doing? We kind of show this, not resentment, but hatred towards people that are trying to be better than ourselves, better at overall as a person, than showing support. which is harsh. It's harsh. It's a very bad mentality that we have subconsciously, not unsubconsciously. We have some subconsciously to try to be above people around us, and the only way to be above is that the people around you don't grow. But this is life. We're not main characters here. This is life. Everyone around you is a person with goals, hopes, life, a mind, and a soul. And I think I named soul already. It doesn't matter. What matters is we're not the only person out there. We're not the only person out there to have a mind that processes and thinks about everything. The world doesn't spin around money or us or any other person. Yeah, the world spins so you can have a life. The world spins so you have a reason to live. The world spins to give us a chance to breathe. And been given this like this one chance at running this great marathon of life. For some, it's a long run. For some, it's a very rocky, downhill and uphill adventure. For some, it's a very short path. But however you view your life, or however you live your life, or however you perceive your future and your overall spiritual role in it, is it's up to you. It's up to you to be what you want to be. It's up to you to work on yourself. We've heard the saying that I thought it's me against the world, but it was me against me all along. This is kind of the point where I'm getting at, because we are fighting against ourselves here. And even when we're fighting against someone, you're fighting someone that has the same feelings that you can have. At some point, we were and had the same emotional state as people around us. People around us, yeah. You maybe have an angry boss. Per se, you have one. And he gets angry. You don't understand him. You hate him. He makes your life shit. But in other parts of your life, you go around and maybe get to the same state your boss got. And you're angry as well. What then? Do you say that, oh, you justify everything and say that, oh, I was tired, I was that, I was that, I was that. What about your boss? Was your boss tired as well, or did he do it for fun? No, he did not do it for fun. There's no such thing as people being angry for the fun of it. There's always a reason behind it, and trying to understand other people's views and trying to come and understand them will make them feel more at peace. And those people in turn will understand what you did for them, and they will come and help you when you are doing the wrong thing, when you are not in your most stable of states. Because we are human beings, and we sin, and we make mistakes. But that's not a reason to be kind. That's not a reason to be someone better. That's not a reason to become unstable and do despicable stuff. We're nearing towards the end of the half an hour I usually do for each episode. I observed that by each episode that I'm trying to slowly build a more coherent thought for you to understand my line of thinking and me as a whole person. Because the mind is a jumble of thoughts, and right now I'm switching from a thought for another, and some rants that I go on about here may not be fully understandable. But anyway, thank you for listening to me until now. I appreciate it a lot, and I will see you on the next video. As always, if you need help, need a person that listens to you, I'm available at this moment in my life. You can go on my Discord, you can text me, I'm there for a quick talk, for a listening ear, because all people matter. And towards the end of the day, all people matter. All lives are equal, and so on.